Hi everyone, we are the group 2 and we are going to discuss about the global demography. First, before we start, let me explain first the lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to 1. Understand the concept of demography and its effects to global population. 2. Understand the Malthusian theory and its criticisms. And 3. Analyze the demographic transition theory and its criticisms. In the 21st century, the human population reached 6 billion. It shows that it has the most growing population, and it is possible that it will continue to increase in years and decades to come. Global demography is a way of analyzing and predicting social, economic trends related to population and culture. As per the population still arises, demography continuously functions. So, what is demography? As what I've said previously, demography is a scientific study of the determinants and consequences of human population trends. It is the study of population number, composition, and migration through geography and time. By examining the three fundamental demographic processes of birth, migration, and aging, demographers hope to better understand population dynamics. A demographic example could be the COVID-19 epidemic. The Malthusian theory. Thomas Malthus, 1766 to 1834, was the first person to draw widespread attention to the two components of natural increased births and deaths, fertility and mortality. In his essay titled Essay on the Principle of Population, initially published in 1789, he postulated that population tended to grow geometrically while the means of subsistence grew only arithmetically. He believes that humanity might avoid this fate, and he thought this an unlikely outcome, according to Lee 2003. Malthus further explained that the human population grows more rapidly than the food supply until famines, war, or disease reduces the population. According to Malthus, populations grow in geometric progression. A geometric progression refers to a number sequence in which each term following the first can be found in multiplying the previous one with a common ratio, which is a fixed, non-zero number. Population explosion. Contrary to what Malthus predicted, mortality has not risen to curb world population growth. The world population boomed up to nearly a billion in 1800s and reached 6 billion by the end of the 20th century. Apparently, Malthus did not recognize the force of the Industrial Revolution, which produced exponential growth in the means of subsistence. Demographic transition refers to the transition from high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates as a country develops from a pre-industrial to an industrialized economic system. It is an overall description of the changing pattern of mortality, fertility, and growth rates as society moves from one demographic regime to another. Demographic transition model, which helps explain and make sense of changes in population demographics. Using the demographic transition model, demographers understand a country's current population growth based on its placement within one of 4 stages and then pass on that data to be used for addressing economic and social policies within a country and across nations. Without further ado, let's discuss the 4 stages of demographic transition model.
Good day, everyone! The 4 stages of demographic model. Stage 1, pre-industrial society, high and unstable birth and death rates, population growth rate slow, importance of children, low life expectancy, The reason for the changes in birth rate. Number 1, children are needed for farming. Number 2, they die at an early age due to illnesses. Number 3, no family planning and conception giving birth is encouraged by religion and society. Reason for the changes in death rate. Number 1, disease. Number 2, famine. Number 3, poor medical knowledge. Stage number 2, early industrial society. High birth rates, falling death rate, high population growth. The reason for the changes in birth rate. Alright, number 1, children are needed for farming. Number 2, they die at an early age due to illnesses. Number 3, no family planning and conception giving birth is encouraged by religion and society. Reason for the changes in death rate. Number 1, improvements in medical care. Number 2, water. Number 3, supply and sanitation. Number 4, fewer children die. Stage number 3, late industrial society. Alright? Low death rate, falling birth rate, high population growth. The reason for the changes in birth rate. Alright? Number 1, improve medical care and diet. Number 2, fewer children are needed for work. Alright? So the reason for the changes in the birth rate. Number 1, improvements in medical care. Number 2, water. Number 3, supply and sanitation. Number 4, fewer children die. Alright? So, stage number 4, post-industrial society. Low birth and death rates, low population growth. The reason for the changes in the birth rate. Number 1, family planning. Number 2, good health. Number 3, later marriages. Number 4, improving status of women. Reason for the changes in death rate. Number 1, good health, reliable food supply, people are living much longer. Criticism of the democratic transition theory. Now, the democratic transition theory is only based on Western societies, Europe, America, Japan. It is not inevitable that there will be a fall in fertility rates in less developed countries. The democratic transition is a phenomenon that is unique to Europe according to these models, the structures, and is therefore not necessarily representative of the experiences of other countries, particularly those that are classified as less developed or developing. Another issue with this theory is that it does not offer a theoretical justification for fertility, a significant factor in the democratic shift. Alright, fertility transition theory. This theory states that fertility is declining in the less developed countries at a rate which exceeds the rate of decline that was experienced in developed countries. The fertility transition theory asserts that while economic development can create a climate conducive to reductions in fertility, it is a change in cultural attitude about large families and a willingness to use contraception that matters. For the majority of demographers, fertility, traditional democratic transition theory is one of transition theories, as reported by Nautstein and Thompson, 1930, Chapter 8, 1953. This hypothesis links declines in fertility to modification in social life that goes along with and is said to have caused by both urbanization and industrialization. This initial adjustment caused a decrease in morality that prepares the ground for, by itself could result in a reduction in fertility by children survival rates and consequently family size. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. God bless.